What's going on, guys? It's Red Bull Tanker, and welcome back to Operation Chromite, Historical Board Gaming's The Korean War. This is turn 8. We are covering the months of August to September 1951, and quite the 2-month period it has been in this war for the Korean Peninsula. Alright, starting off, I do have a couple notes to make. And I had made, starting off, I had made some errors in this game in my counting between me and Airsoft Commando. For some reason, for a couple turns now, I kept going under the impression that self-propelled artillery was only worth 4 IPC, and I was incorrect. They are worth 5. So, that was kind of, well, basically that was allowing the U.S. and the South Koreans to build a couple more units than they were supposed to. That was an error on myself. However, just given what's kind of happened, I decided not to go back through all the notes and retroactively remove it. It was my mistake. We're just going to keep playing. But now that the mistake has been caught, we will adjust accordingly. And then, well, I'll make this note now, even though I could save it for the post-game review. But this was on me. I guess this comes from the issue of trying to play 2 games at once, but I completely forgot that the factory in Seoul is not a 3-unit factory. It can actually build 4, so I hadn't actually been building 4 units out of it every turn since I captured it. I've only been building 3, but I don't know, maybe in hindsight that wasn't such a bad strategy in of itself, but so just a few pre-turn things that I need to cover. Alright, so going back, turn 8. The North Koreans had 43 to spend, and Seoul, we bought 4 infantry, and then up in Pyongyang, we bought 4 mech, a Katyusha, 2 tanks, and 2 supply. Combat. Well, and then, since this is, now that China's kind of more into it, I'll also be able to kind of do with China what I'm doing with the Allies. So then for China, at 35, they bought a fighter, 3 infantry, and 3 mech. Okay, combat. All right, turn 8 was quite the round for combat in the Osan region of Korea. Let me just get that in nice and easy. So, seeing the Allied threat to Seoul after the combined Allied armies had taken Osan, the North Korean ground forces and their air forces, with aid from the Chinese Air Force, launched a massive counterattack against the Allied army here in Osan. The battle did go 3 rounds, and it did result in the complete annihilation of the Allied forces that were in Osan. And I'm going to try and get this. I'm right at the edge of my table, and I'm trying not to knock anything over. But this was the results of the campaign. So, the Allies altogether, let me get my notes here. The Allies altogether lost 12 infantry, 18 mech infantry, 10 self-propelled guns, and 8 tanks. Of the American divisions, the Americans lost the 7th Infantry Division, the 1st Marine Division, the 2nd Infantry Division, the 1st Cavalry Division, the 45th Infantry Division, the 3rd Infantry Division, 1st Armored Division, and the 10th Armored Division. So the U.S. lost many prominent divisions in the North Korean assault. North Korean losses were 13 infantry, 12 mech infantry, 3 artillery, and 5 Katyusha rockets, or 5 Katyusha rocket trucks. So pretty big battle there. Kind of a blow for the Allies because they once again lost one of their they lost basically two of their major army groups that had combined into one massive, well, two armies that kind of were combined into one massive army group. Though the North Koreans definitely took casualties as well. Then on the non-combat, which I can just cover the non-combat for everybody. North Korean and Chinese forces moved troops into 38 West. China brought another fighter down to Seoul. The North Korean Air Force went back to Seoul. And then China just is continuing to move troops south. And then at the end of the turn, the North Koreans collected 44 IPC while the Chinese collected 35. All right, over to the Allies now. All right, purchases. South Korea with 18 bought 3 tanks. The U.S. with 50 bought 4 infantry, 4 mech, 4 self-propelled guns, 2 supply. We have the 23rd AmeriCall Division and the 35th Infantry Division deploying to Korea. And then for the first time ever, the UN is actually putting in ground forces. They are buying 2 infantry, 2 mech, and a self-propelled gun. Combat. The Allies did counterattack the North in Osan. That was this battle. The North, they basically took all their forces on this card, the new 8th Army card. So 6 mech, 8 self-propelled guns, 4 infantry. Well, I guess that's 9. No, that's 7 mech. So 4 infantry, 7 mech, 8 self-propelled guns, and then all the aircraft that they could right here. In the end, the North lost 3 Katyushas and 8 tanks, while the Allies lost 4 infantry and a mech, and the U.S. 40th Division was destroyed in the counterattack. Though the 9th Division remained to help secure Osan. So the Allies recaptured Osan along with a supply. So the Allies now have that. And then on the non-combat, the Allies moved their forces north, up here to Sangju, landed more forces at Pusan and in Chinju. These aircraft are not on land. These aircraft are on the U.S. carrier here in the Tsushima Straits. Or no, this is the Korea Straits. And then at the end of the turn, the U.S. collected 50, North Korea 18, and then the UN 20 plus 2 that they saved. So the UN will have 22 for their next turn. Okay, coming up here. Actually, I better double check this real quick. I feel like I might be off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, yep. Okay, so the Allies are now at 14 territories to the Communists' 23. And let's see here. I think that is it. Yeah, that is it. All right, so we'll be moving on to turn 9, which will actually cover a 3-month period of October to December of 1951. We are technically halfway there now. Out of 18 turns, this is the 9th turn. So we are halfway through the game now. And it is looking to be it'll be quite an interesting second half to the game. So that's it for now, guys. We'll see you next time. So until then, guys, as always, take care.